Hey, it's Alec the Catholic again. I have another reaction for you. Little story first. Uh, I got a bunch of music from my friend a long time ago, back when I carried an iPod around. He had iTunes, and I would go over his house, and I would get a bunch of music from him. And he had all kinds of just random stuff he liked from video games and things like that. The thing that's kind of crazy is that amongst all the music, there is an album. It's this album, the Heroin Diaries by 6 a.m. I was in my car driving around, and I hooked up my phone to the car, and it auto plays music a lot of times once you get the Bluetooth pairing set up. And one of the songs on this album popped up randomly in the shuffle while I was driving, and it kind of freaked me out because I was like, what the heck am I listening to? Is this music on my phone? And I looked at it, and I was like, oh my gosh, I got this whole album on here of music I've never heard before. I listened to the first track, which is this. So this is not an original, 100% reaction. I've heard this before. I've heard 2 or 3 songs on this album before, actually. I remembered them. I was like, oh, whoa, I've heard this before. I didn't know it was these guys. I didn't know it was this album. What I want to do is actually listen to the entire album. This first track got me hooked. I'm very curious how the rest of the album goes. I want to do the whole album. Now, there's a reason why. Heroin Diaries, from what I could tell, it's a series. The whole album is basically telling the story of a heroin addict, someone, maybe even one of these band members. I don't know. I don't know anything about these guys, except I know the guitarist is Nikki Sixx. He might be the singer too. I don't know that. I know Nikki Sixx plays the guitar, and 6 a.m. He's got the same spelling, Sixx, the double X, in his name. So I think that's him. I don't know if this is him in the song, but I'm going to let you listen to this and get a glimpse of what is to come in the rest of the reviews to follow. This is important to me, not because I am a drug addict, but because I am an addict. I have an addiction. I've gone to meetings, 12-step meetings, and it's not a substance addiction. I have some testimonial I'm going to do, just a short video about my addiction, and I'll post that pretty soon. So this is something I personally want to get into, this whole album. I want to dissect it. I want to ingest it and dissect it and share my thoughts on it. I think I bring a different perspective to the addiction discussion because of my particular addiction and what I've gone through and what I still go through today. So kind of my perspective on this, and there are a lot of similarities between his addiction and mine in terms of the same, the struggle, the temptation, the triggers. I worked a 12-step program to try and get my sobriety, to collect sobriety for myself. So I'm wondering how much of that is going to come through in this music. I don't know if this guy's sober anymore or not. I really don't think you can write about this if you're not sober, frankly. Maybe it's possible, but typically I don't see people who are in the depths of their drug addiction writing whole albums about how much they hate being a drug addict. Usually they're thinking about other stuff. But I could be wrong. So if you know anything about this album, please comment, subscribe, especially comment. Let me know. Give me some facts about it if you know anything about these guys, about this album. If it's affected you personally, I would love to hear your stories. You're probably going to pull something different from it than I will. This is a super long introduction. Let's just get into this. There's the Christmas la 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 la. Those kids in the background.
December 25th, 1986. Van Nuys. Merry Christmas. Well, that's what people say at Christmas, right? Except for normally they have somebody to say it to. They have friends and family, and they haven't been crouched naked under a Christmas tree with a needle in their arm like an insane person in a mansion in Van Nuys.
Okay, that's what caught me when I first heard this song. I'm driving with my family, right? I got my kids in the car. I've got the 4-year-old boy and a 2-year-old little girl. And this comes on, and I'm just like, what the hell am I listening to? Oh, no. And I was like trying to skip it fast. And it unfortunately, my wife heard it. She's like, what are you listening to? So, whatever. I had to like skip it real fast. And then I came back to it later on when I was by myself. I was like, let me see what's going on here. And maybe I need to delete this. But so number one, Van Nuys is a city in LA. It's its own city, like a district in LA has its own city. And I've been there many, many times. It's not like high end. It's not super low end. But there's a lot of homeless wandering the streets, especially around City Hall. And there's a lot of people who are obviously drug addicts running around. He's talking about being in a mansion on Christmas in Van Nuys with a needle in his arm, naked under a Christmas tree. That's crazy, but he's completely alone. And so I guess this is just, he's in the throes of it right now.
They're not out of their minds, they're not writing in a diary, and they're definitely not watching their holiday spirit coagulate in a spoon. I didn't speak to a single person today. I thought, why should I ruin their fucking Christmas?
Okay, so the language he's using, I don't condone it. This is probably not going to be a series that's safe for kids, just because of the language in the song. I'm not going to use the language myself, but I'm also not going to edit it. I'm not going to play the censored version, and this is the way he wrote it. He's conveying a real emotion, and he's not coming from the same place that I am. Like, his reasons for using swear words or cuss words are what they are. And I'm going to separate the art from the artist and just take the art in as it is. I do kind of want to know about the artist and what his motivations were, but just because somebody swears or cusses doesn't mean that the art is bad. Just because they put some swear words or cuss words in it doesn't mean that the art is invalid or doesn't have something of value in there. I do believe strongly in that, and I will listen to things that talk about inappropriate subject matter, not to take pleasure in them, but really to try and understand them and get a perspective of someone else's life. This is real stuff. This is deep stuff. It's hard stuff. And it's really real and really raw. And I'm not going to try and sugarcoat it, right? Drug addiction sucks. And it ruins lives. I have friends who are recovering drug addicts, and it leaves scars you can't really heal from. But this loneliness he's talking about is he's like in his own head right now, writing in this diary. So let's keep going.
I've started a new diary, and this time I have a few new reasons. 1, I have no friends left. 2, so I can read back and remember what I did the day before. And 3, so if I die, at least I leave a nice little suicide note of my life. It's just me and you, diary. Welcome to my fucking life. Nobody would believe the shit that happens inside my head. It's haunted. Now I've come down from the drugs. It seems like a sick play that I saw in a theater somewhere.
Oh,
30 minutes ago,
this is new.
I killed somebody. or better yet, myself.
I don't remember that. That last part there. Shoot, I thought it was just gonna end. Yeah. So a little bit ago, I could have killed somebody. Myself, primarily. Like coming down off the drugs, so what he was talking about, how he's writing in the diary for 3 reasons. One, to so that he remembers what he did the previous day, and then also to leave like a suicide note in case anybody, I guess, is going to read it. Man, he said 3 good reasons, and I don't remember what the 3 reasons were. Let me see. I'll set up.
It's just me and you, Doc. 4 and 3, so if I die, at least I... 2, so I can read back and remember what I did.
Read back what I remember. What was the first one?
1, I have no friends left.
I have no friends left. Okay, so the diary is his friend. Like, he's got to have somebody to talk to. That's so my experience with addiction. One of the key things that we learned in my 12-step program was you got to get out of your own head. When you're in the moment, like you're triggered, you're like toying with the idea of going back to of acting out and doing your drug. You got to get out of your own head, because that's the real reason why you're gonna eventually just cave in, because you don't have what it takes. You've destroyed whatever foundation you had in terms of willpower, and it's too strong of an attraction to actually resist. So you got to get out of that situation completely. Like, get out of your own head. Writing in a diary is a way to do that. That's one of the ways that you can quickly get out of your head. Just start okay, I'm gonna just write down everything I'm feeling and thinking right now, so that I can get it out on something. And maybe when I get it out, I can start thinking about it rationally, and I can start making decisions and taking steps to walk away from the situation, get out of this mess, go find something else to do, breathe, count to 10. It'll pass. It'll take 15 minutes, 20 minutes, but eventually it'll go away. Surrender is something else that we do in the program. He hasn't mentioned that yet, and so my impression is that this first track is like an introduction to you, the audience, to something really big that's going to unfold. And every single one of these entries in the diary is going to be totally different, and is going to have a different message with it. This is he hasn't started to get sober yet. He's still in the throes of it. He's deep in a binge. It's Christmas. He's ultra lonely at a time when he should be with family and friends. He's by himself, shooting up heroin in Van Nuys, a city that really doesn't have much to offer. It's not a very fun place. It's just shopping malls and little mom and pop shops and fast food places. That's pretty much all Van Nuys is, as far as I know. If you're from Van Nuys and there's something cool about it, please let me know. I'd love to go see. But it's the whole. It doesn't matter. He's in a dark place. Nothing is gonna look good, and he's trapped in this darkness by the drugs. I don't think he doesn't kill himself. He says he could have, and that's very real. That's very real. The despair that comes with being in a binge, the guilt, the shame, the isolation. When it's you versus your drug, you're outnumbered, because the reality is that half of you wants the drug. So if half of you doesn't want a drug, the other half does, and your drug is standing right there in front of you, drug versus half of you against that one half of you that doesn't want it, you're outnumbered. You're going to lose every time. One of the key things that we do in the program is we reach out to somebody else, get another person involved, go get some support. get somebody else to bring into the situation and help you balance out this battle here. Make it a fair fight, for crying out loud. And so pick up the phone, call your sponsor, call somebody else in the program, just tell them what you're going through. One thing I'm going to do throughout this series, I'm going to share with you guys about an app called Our Tribe. R is in Robert, tribe is in like a tribe, like a cannibal tribe. We don't eat our own. We help our own in the Our Tribe community. I'm a part of it. I've been a part of it for a long time. They don't sponsor me doing this at all. I'm just putting this out there because it has legitimately helped me. You can pay for counseling in it, or you can just use it for free and meet other people who are in the same addiction as you, or who are going through depression, anxiety, eating disorders, drug addiction, alcoholism. It's all on there. And there's a community of just recovering people. So you can find your tribe that's recovering. You can find people who have the same religious preferences as you, or, you know, and you guys can swap stories. You can check in with each other. You can alert everyone, hey, I'm triggered. I have it here on my phone. I will show you just a brief glimpse of it. So if you're looking it up in your app store, Our Tribe, here's what it looks like. Right down there, it's the little wolf howling. And it's totally anonymous. You don't have your name up there. No one knows who I am. I have like a little bear icon, and I go over here every day, and I just check in and just let everybody know how I'm doing. It's a great way to reflect on your day. It's like having a diary. If you're interested in it, I'll post a link in the description as well to it. If you know anyone who's going through an addiction, who's struggling to recover, to get sober in whatever it is, pornography that's mine, and I'll go more into that when I upload the video with my story. But it helps a lot. It really helps a lot in getting out your ideas onto paper. What's going on in your head, getting it onto the phone is great. So this is like the whole start of a thing for me. I really want to know what this guy has gone through, what his experiences were, and I want to see what experiences you have or have had, because I want to start this conversation online too. Why not? It helps everybody. The more we talk about it, the less isolated we are, the more we can fight it, right? No matter the addiction. I don't want to be a slave. I really don't want to be a slave to a drug, to something that's outside of myself. I don't want something external to control me. I want to be in charge of my own life, and if I don't want to do something, I don't want to do it. Dang it. That's what I'm fighting for. That's why I'm fighting for my sobriety, and I do it for my family, I do it for my kids. The side effects of delving into my drug hurt my marriage. They hurt my family. I lose a lot of trust, and I don't want to lose anyone's trust. I'm sick and tired of that. So this is cool. This is real, and I can't wait to do the next track. So catch you in the next one. I hope this wasn't too heavy, and I hope it wasn't too long. Thanks for sticking around. I appreciate it. You're a trooper. See you in the next one.